So, in the world of golf, everybody talks about how much drivers are coming on.
Yeah.
And irons, I suppose, have come on a little bit in the last few years. But we've got an iron from 1991. It's a brand new TITLEIST iron that we picked up from Golf Clubs for cash. It's still in the wrappers. It's the TITLEIST DTR, Distance Through Research 5. And it was actually Tahid's idea, this. He was like, how much of golf clubs actually come on?
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously there'll be people buying second-hand golf clubs online and wondering, you know, if brand new irons are actually going to make a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to be comparing this against Jan's T200 iron,
yep.
which is about 30 years newer.
Yeah, you'd hope it's
Was
got
this,
some improvement.
Was this a 2001 version?
No, 2021.
2021, sorry,
Yeah.
2021. This is the actual 1991, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
exactly 30 years newer than this. And we're going to do a like-for-like test. So 2 5 irons. I'm going to be performing the testing. We're going to have a look at, I think, ball data and distance, and talk a little bit about feel. I'm going to get you to a few shots as well, and just to see really how much irons have actually come on.
So before we start, prediction.
Prediction? Oh, that's a great question. I think ball speed will be definitely way up.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine if this doesn't actually come out like that?
Well, yeah.
There'd be people fuming. We've been told for years that everything's getting better.
It's got to be.
But I think the ball's got a lot better over years, and
Yeah,
that
true.
could actually be interesting to see how these perform with a new modern ball. Because is it the ball getting better or the club's getting better?
No, I mean, Club will have got better as well, but come on, what we saying?
Prediction-wise,
Is it-
I reckon
Do it as a percentage.
percentage. Well, if I hit my current 5 iron 190 yards, I think this is going to go about 175.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be about 15 yards shorter than my normal 5 iron.
Yeah, I think that's a good estimate.
Is that what you'd say?
I would have thought so, yeah, around that. I think it might even get up to 180.
And I think certainly like field probably not as good, and
No,
forgiveness
and
not
miss
as good.
it, no.
Miss it's aren't going to be as good, are they? But let's have a look. Let's get
do
into
it.
this.
Let's go for it.
Right, Dan, I'm going to start by hitting 5 shots with your club. We're hitting off the mat. We're actually using the TITLEIST Pro V1. I've got that green set 215 yards. It might be a bit ambitious, but they feel hot, these, Dan. Feel like they come off face well.
Yeah, they're quite nice.
I mean, how far do you hit this 5 iron?
Out from 130 to 210. No, usually around, 195, 200.
Don't want to get too used to these.
See these going in bag. Everything's for sale.
Pretty consistent though for distance, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I dare say, you know, I'm sure not all of these are coming bang out at centre. I think that first one were a bit towy. It still managed to fly pretty well, I think. No, that really went.
Sound nice in your hands. Yeah, that one did go.
Yeah. 120, 221. One more. The only reason I've not gone for an iron like this is that I do get a bit worried sometimes about ball speed
Yeah.
and stuff. That were a nice shot.
Do you like grips?
Do you know what? I feel great. I'm not going to lie. I feel all right. I feel like they're being fitted well.
Yeah, I think I did 5 iron.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a beautiful grip. Do you know what? I don't know why they don't do traditional grips still.
Yeah.
I bet they'd sell
Good
loads of
looking,
these.
aren't they?
They look great. I mean, you don't get grips like that these days, do you? Look at that.
No.
Look at the butt, how shiny it is.
Classic.
When we come to do testing, this is added in as a hybrid, even though it's an iron, and it's only because we're not logged in here. But nevertheless, right, this is going to be interesting.
Here we
Do you know
go.
what I'm scared of?
Go on.
I feel like my hands are going to get a stinger. You know, if I don't hit centre at club, when you look
Winter
down
morning.
at it. Oh my God, that felt brilliant.
Sounded nice.
That felt tremendous.
Oh dear.
That felt way better than I were expecting it to feel. I did not expect that, Dan. I can't wait for you to have a go with this in a minute. It felt like butter.
It looked and sounded nice.
It's 30 years old.
Yeah.
It shouldn't feel like that. Oh my God.
I guess one thing we just need to double check as well is what loft is on that.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Yeah, I appreciate your iron might be a bit stronger in loft, and that's probably why we're getting a little bit more distance, because these are traditional lofted. But regardless of any distance, to actually hit that, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Oh, that didn't feel so well though. That were a miss it.
Yeah, I mean that's where you're really losing distance, isn't it?
You know what? I was getting way too excited then. But that is it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you'd have hit the same shot with T200 miss it, you're not losing that much.
I agree.
Whereas look at that, you're down to 109 ball speed.
Wow. That one I've just missed it, we're a bit bottomy, and I know I caught one in yours, very similar to that, and you didn't notice it much, did you?
No.
But I tell you what, when you hit these out in the middle, they feel incredible.
I mean, if you look at ball speed, 124, it's up there.
It just shows you then, for people getting into golf, it's not as crucial in the irons, is it? Probably on wedges to get them up. I think drivers are probably what's come on. Well, I know that from previous testing. Drivers have certainly come on a lot more than irons. I can't believe how this feels. I mean, they're certainly shorter in distance, aren't they?
A little bit, a little bit.
Shall we just get you to hit a few before we start to have a look at these numbers?
Okay.
I want you to hit some, because I'm shocked at how they feel.
Yeah, well, do you just want to change it so that I'm not really as consistent as you?
I'll put Dan into wedge, obviously, and we'll not have these up on our comparison at the end, but...
Oh, it feels light.
That first contact with ball, though, when you strike it... How did you strike that?
That felt pretty good to me.
Would you expect that, though? That's
No.
30 years old. Well, it's actually, in 1991, it's actually 33-year-old. I'm 36. I'm 35.
Don't look at it. That one not as good. Yeah, you can see it drop off, can't you?
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this iron in another video with somebody. I'm going to blind test them. I'm going to actually, like, so they don't know how old it is, and get them to try some different irons and guess which were the oldest. Because I weren't expecting that. What's it feel like?
Feels all right.
Would it feel all right? Would it feel better than you were expecting?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I just don't understand why I'm so surprised.
I mean, there's too much offset and it feels light as a club, but off the face.
Yeah. Right, so if we firstly just start to have a look at these numbers, and we've got probably a miss it or an anomaly on both clubs at the minute, which we're going to take out and have a look at in a minute. But first things first, I mean, you can see there the ball speed. There's a massive difference.
Yeah, what, 8 mile an hour or so?
Yeah, you're looking at around about 8 miles per hour increase in ball speed with a modern day iron, which in distance is quite significant. You know, that's round about sort of 20 yards.
20 yards aren't carrying it.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. But let's just take them two anomalies out, because there were a miss it with the old iron, and there were a flyer with the new iron, weren't they? So if we take them out...
Well, before we do that, your prediction, I think you predicted 175, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
174.
That's not... Yeah, that's a very good point.
Not bad at all. Good guess.
Let's take these out. So the miss it there, and the flyer there. Compare again. So... Ball speed's not quite so significant anymore, is it?
4 mile an hour.
4 mile an hour. Total distance, you're looking at You know,
12.
Yeah.
Well, 12 on carry.
12 on carry, 14 total distance.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's incredible is with the miss hits out, how tight the dispersion is. So when you catch them out the centre and you strike them well,
Yep.
the dispersion's not actually that bad, is it?
No, not at all.
It actually compares, and if not beats, the modern day iron. Let's just put them 2 miss hits back in, because I think that could tell a different story. And you can't overlook it, because I think with the modern day iron, I think that is significantly where
Kind of what you're buying in there,
isn't it? That's what you're buying the modern day iron for. It's an improvement on miss hits. So we take them and have a look now. Yeah, I mean, look at the difference in dispersion now. You know, it's definitely much higher. You know, distance. It's not really, is it, direction? It's mainly just distance dispersion back to front. Yeah. So I think now we put the miss hits back in, I think it's certainly safe to say, you know, there's not a great deal of difference in direction, but certainly back to front distance between a good shot and a bad shot is where the older iron isn't quite as good. The modern day iron, the back to front distance between a good shot and a bad shot's a lot tighter.
Yeah, I agree.
So just before we start this conclusion, let's firstly start by thanking Worksop Indoor Golf Centre.
Yeah.
What an incredible setup they've got here, and they've kept us from getting us toes wet.
Yeah, it's a bit snowy and rainy outside, so it's been nice to be indoors.
It's awful weather in Yorkshire. Right, TITLEIST Distance Through Research, DTR, made 32 years ago.
Yes.
Do you think that there's been 30 years of development and improvement in your irons, or do you feel a bit missold?
I mean, it's hard to quantify 30 years of improvement, but I think we've seen with the misses on that, you're losing 20, 30 yards. With this, you're not even losing that much.
I mean, I will certainly say, and I'll agree, is that the new irons have definitely come on, there's no doubt, but 30 years of innovation, and that this is where we are.
Yeah, I think if you could blind test it, obviously you're gonna see the difference. But if you could blind test it on feel, you're not feeling much difference.
That's a great point.
And sound-wise as well.
It's so it's almost an impossible test to do, because people know these days when you look down at that, it's an old-fashioned iron. But I agree. If there was possibly a way of hitting a ball without seeing the head, you wouldn't be able to tell which were the modern day club.
No.
You might think that were a lower handicappers club because it felt nicer, it was a bit softer. But in terms of numbers, I think you're completely right. You know, we can't argue that the modern day iron's more forgiving off centre shots.
Yeah, and it just goes a little bit further.
It goes a little bit further. And to be fair, you know what, I'm probably being a bit harsh on it. When you look down at that club, you've got a hell of a lot more confidence, haven't you?
Yeah.
If you were a newer golfer or a higher handicap golfer, I can assure you, we'll put a picture up now side by side. I know which one you'd be most confident hitting.
I agree.
But still, I've really enjoyed that test, and I'm surprised at how well that felt.
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you want to see any more tests,
get in the comments and we'll test it.
We've got a few ideas for videos, but it's always, I love your ideas the most, because you know, when you get an idea and you're like, oh, I want to go and test that.
I don't know. You can't think of everything, can you? So
no. Make sure you subscribe, guys. We're trying to get to that 20,000 mark.
Yes, it'd be nice if we could get there soon.
If we could get there for Christmas,
it'd be amazing.
It would be a Merry Christmas.
It would.
And let's be seeing you in a few days' time. Bye.